how did the Clippers choke? Can Kawhi and Paul George bounce back? But first, we want to talk about, we've seen all over media how everybody's talking about the Clippers choking and giving the Nuggets no credit. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think the Clippers really did choke?
You know, it's funny because I think I'm the only person at the table that had the Clippers winning the chip. I think you had the Rockets, you had the Lakers, so we all had different takes. And I think we're all in agreement here, but we had the Clippers as the favorites to come out and play the Lakers in the next round.
I definitely did.
Now, they're up 3-1, and they blow two 15-point leads, right? Mm-hmm. And I seen it I see it a lot on Twitter. Paul George is getting all the blame, this, that, and the third. He had 10 points in the Game 7. Kawhi had 14, but okay. He had a bad game. I don't think Lou Will scored 20 points one time in the 7 games, but okay. And then Montrezl Harrell, when he was on the court, the Clippers were outscored 61 points. But all right, Paul George gets all the blame, right? Even if I think with all the free agents that they had this year, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, Montrezl, I think this was the year that they should have definitely went to the finals and won it all. Now, with their grit style, the way they approach games has been happening all year. They approach games pretty lackadaisical. They blow leads a lot. They tend to go up and they get lazy, or Doc Rivers makes bad subs, puts in the bench. So this is definitely probably up there with a 3-1 choke with Steph Curry in them, just for the simple fact that they were favorited so much and they were hyped all year, and then they just blow it in the end. So yeah, this is a bad choke.
They were not a 73-9 win team though.
They weren't, but
the Warriors will always be worse.
I didn't say it was worse than the Warriors. I said it's up there though.
No,
with them.
It's definitely the Warriors will always be worse.
Yeah, it's definitely up there with them though. It's definitely with your boy Chris Paul though.
Nah, yeah, Chris Paul choked against the Clippers when he was with the Clippers against Houston against my boy James Harden.
He choked against Josh Smith.
Josh Smith went off.
Yeah.
Nah, but James Harden had a great Game 7.
He did.
He closed them out. Look, I feel like you're way too soft on Paul George.
PG-13.
Because I know that Paul George, you like him way more than Kawhi. Paul George was one of your favorite players, but let's be honest.
He didn't have a bad series against Denver.
He didn't show up. His
so
defense,
14 points is showing up?
His defense was lazy. His defense was lazy all series.
What?
Nah, he was actually checking Jamal Murray really well.
His defense was lazy all series. And you want to... Didn't Paul George averaged 21, right? He averaged 20 or 21, right?
No, for the entire playoffs?
For that series.
20 points per game.
20.
Kawhi averaged more than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Kawhi was better. Now, that being said, do I think that Paul George deserves most of the blame? I don't. But he didn't show up either, and I don't think Kawhi showed up to the level we're normal to seeing him show up either.
Aside from Jamal's 33-point game in Game 7, he didn't have any great game. You do know that, right? He had a bunch of 19-point games, 17-point game, 15-point game, and that was because not Kawhi, Mr. DPOY was checking him. No, Paul George was the one checking Jamal Murray.
I mean, Kawhi has to carry the load on offense.
Game 4 and 3, Jamal didn't score in the fourth quarter. Game 4, he didn't score in the second half because of Paul George.
It was a Jokic show. Defense. What can I say? It was a Jokic show.
But don't try to say Paul George. Maybe Game 7, everybody was lazy in Game 7.
Paul George's shot hit the side of the backboard.
That was bad.
James Harden airballed.
When? I don't remember. Do you remember that, JC? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he did. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I mean, every player airballs.
Like he tried to throw that up, like it doesn't happen.
That side of the backboard
that was
dying.
I don't think Paul George hit a shot in the fourth.
Russell Westbrook
didn't he miss a layup in the fourth?
Russell Westbrook airballed a free throw.
I don't look.
In the clutch. In the clutch. Like, why are you doing that?
I mean, I don't care about Westbrook. You can say that all you
want. He's crazy.
Westbrook is not my favorite player.
He's your favorite point guard, though.
He's not my favorite point guard.
Who is?
What?
Who's your favorite point guard? Chris Paul?
My favorite point guard, man, Dame. Dame is one of my favorites.
He was slandering
Chris Paul. Crazy. I like Kyrie too, man.
I love Kyrie.
Yeah. But look, Paul George, he didn't play to the all-star level that we're accustomed to seeing him playing. Yes, he didn't shoot bad from the field, but Paul George, he didn't shoot bad from the field. He shot like what, 38% from 3? 39?
From the field, 39.
Okay, yeah.
And then from the 3, 33%.
Paul George, 33% against the Nuggets?
I think he's doing the whole playoffs.
The whole playoffs.
Oh, no. I'm talking about just the Nuggets.
Okay.
Just the Nuggets. I mean, Paul George and Kawhi, I think they showed up more than anybody on the Clippers team. But I think the blame goes to Lou Williams, Sweet Pepper Lou. One, I can't even believe that he was not kicked out of the bubble for going to a strip club, and Daniel House was kicked out for just bringing somebody who worked at the bubble to his hotel room. That makes no sense to me.
Nah,
that's two different circumstances.
Lou Will left the bubble and didn't get kicked out.
Daniel House brought somebody in the bubble.
No, she was working in the bubble.
Oh, okay.
Lou Will should have definitely.
Granted, she was able to leave to her house, but she was working in the bubble. I
He
think
didn't even show up, so it didn't even matter.
who, Lou Will? Or who?
Lou Will.
I mean, yeah, but
horrible.
this is why it was Lou Will's fault more than anybody else's, because he's known for his offense. And I remember telling you this. I told you I don't think Doc Rivers goes with the Lou Will closing lineup because they don't have any defense. They were, instead of Goodwill Hunting, they were Lou Will Hunting. They were Lou Will Hunting that whole series, getting favorable matchups on Lou Will.
Yeah, you did tell me that, but I also told you that if his offense is on, then he's gonna be in the game. They're gonna sacrifice. And
yeah, but he shot 35% from the field and 15% from three. So if he's like, come on, that's his fault. He's supposed to be that spark plug.
Absolutely,
and he just wasn't. He wasn't. And so I don't blame the series on Kawhi. I don't blame it on Paul George. I'm not gonna come here and slander them. I think this was on Lou Will.
Damn.
Lou Will had to show up. He didn't show up.
I mean, hearing both of your takes, I kind of agree with both of them. I do believe that Lou Williams was supposed to be the X factor to the series. You know, you have a guy that comes off the bench, 6th man of the year, multiple times, going to give you 20 points a game.
Neither 6-man showed up.
I think a lot of people are letting Montrezl Harrell off the hook. I think he was easily just as bad as Lou Williams. I mean, for the entire playoffs, given he was come back from an injury, he only averaged 10 points. He's due for a contract. He didn't show up. Paul George, I mean, you can say he played the best against Denver, I guess, but even in the Dallas series, you know, he's had his moments where he was struggling. Game 7 was really bad. So I think this blame goes on everybody. I don't think it's all Paul George's fault. I do agree with Joel that it's Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. Those were the two X factors that you needed. Those the guys needed to come off the bench when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are struggling. Their job is to pick up the scoring load, you know. But I think a lot of the blame goes for Doc Rivers as well.
I agree with that.
For multiple teams, I mean, he's blown 3-1 leads since 2003 up until now. So I think this is mainly the role players that blew this, but the way Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and the whole team played collectively and coached Game 7, I think it was everybody's fault, Game 7. But most of the blame, to me, if I were to pick someone to blame, is between Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell. Like, you have to be better than that.
I think
Montrezl came off a 6th man of the year award too, right?
He just won it.
You have to be better. You have to be better than 10 points and 3 rebounds. Lou Will, you have to give me more than 25% from the field and 15% from the three. Like, you like, yes, it's a superstar-driven league, and they get blamed, but you guys are people are nuts if you don't think Lou Will and Montrezl had anything to do with this.
I think
it was bad.
More of the blame, not more. I think another person that we should blame is Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer?
Let me tell you why. Let me just throw out this little hot take real quick. He built this team. This is the guy who built this team, and I feel like this is not even. I don't even. Matter of fact, let me not say that. Let me say he gets blamed, but this really jumps. I'm gonna jump on the Doc Rivers wave again too, because this team was worried about the Lakers all year. This is Lakers. We built this team to beat the Lakers. Lakers. They was like, we're not worried about any team. Then you walk into a series with, we can all agree, top 10, top 15 player in the league, Joker. You walk
top
into the
10,
league.
yeah,
you walk into the league. You're playing the best center in the league. You have you're putting Montrezl Harrell on him. The dude is 6'7".
Yeah, Zubac on him too.
You had Zubac on him. Zubac, I don't know why he's not. Doc Rivers at a point wasn't playing him a lot in the fourth quarter. Was playing Montrezl. You don't have a real rim protector on your team because you're so focused on playing the Lakers and beating the Lakers, and you don't build a solid team that can play with Denver or they would have had to play maybe Utah, like a team with a team with a big. So I think that also something that they should work on this offseason, getting a rim protector, somebody who can guard bigs, because they already have enough wings or enough small ball guys that can go with Houston or can go with LA. They're gonna need big men to rock out with Denver or Utah. That's gonna be key for them.
Big?
Yeah, just somebody who can play defense.
So he's not a free agent, but realistically, somebody like DeAndre Jordan, realistic.
Not even. You can even Dwight Howard's a free agent. I'm not saying he would go, but that would be somebody. Do you see what?
Yeah,
you see how key he is for them right now.
Key.
That's somebody they would need a guy who's athletic. He's a defender. He's a rim protector, a center that can go get rebound. He knows his role. That's another thing. I don't think the Clippers knew their role. It was just a lot of hoo ha ha ha.
A lot of people don't talk about the fact that this Clippers team as a whole, I think they only played like 20-something odd games together
33.
all year.
I would agree with you if the series was close before Denver came back. The Clippers had them beat. It was 3-1. They had them beat. You know, if it was kind of like how Boston and the Heat series is going, 2-1, 2-2, you know.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you, but first 4 games they've shown they don't need that. They can beat them without it. Yeah, I just think that most people want to come on and blame everybody on the Clippers. I definitely think that Doc Rivers deserves a lot of blame.
Yep.
But I just feel like Denver played a series that they'll never probably play again in their lives. Like Jokic was shooting 40% from 3. Jamal Murray shooting 50% from 3. Everybody was just going, and I think a guy nobody talks about is Gary Harris. He shot 42% from 3, and he was playing amazing defense as well.
Stellar defense.
He was a huge addition. So people want to put the blame on the Clippers, but in reality, I think there was a lot of things going wrong with that team. One, they didn't communicate effectively enough on defense. They have chemistry issues. And I also think that Paul George was dealing with a little stuff behind the scenes in terms of his mental health, which he was open about. And I think people are kind of overlooking that. I just think it's the atmosphere of the bubble.
I mean, yeah, that definitely plays. I mean, when you're up 3-1, though, you don't really get this team is, you don't get an excuse for, this team is playing out of his mind. I think when you're up 3-1, it's like that really falls on you. Like you're up 3-1, mind you, you're up 15 twice. In game 5 and 6, you
have no excuse.
Yeah, you can't really say anything about how, because let's be realistic, the Clippers are better than Denver. The Clippers should be playing right now.
They should be playing.
So it's tough for them.
I think if the Clippers are playing right now, this series between Denver and LA, it's 1-1 right now between the Clippers and the Lakers.
Hello guys, you just watched a clip from Pick a Side. If you like our content, please like and subscribe and share our content across every platform. It helps us grow. Thank you for watching, and see you later.